I know healthcare in Ghana. Oh God, it's like up to here. Like it's so stressful. Like your head is just sticking from thinking about it. It is so stressful. But I am here to give you 5 pointers that will make healthcare, let me say, at least bearable for the two of us. So stay tuned. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Dr. Ayeli again, back with another banger. You guys, so haven't you seen I'm using a microphone? Can't you see that the lighting is better? And you don't need to subscribe. Honey. Why don't you? Anywho, if you're a new subscriber here, welcome to my channel. It's Dr. Yeli. And on this channel, we talk about all things related to medicine, be it educational and be it entertainment. So stay tuned. For my oldies over here, thank you so much for coming back to see my pretty face again. Thank you all. Guys, let's get straight into the video. Okay, I have my points here. So I'll be reading for us. Okay. So numero uno, our first one, go to the hospital early. And when you are going, carry a bag of patience with you. Carry a bag of what? Patience with you. Going to the hospital is very stressful. I have been a patient at the hospital before. Mm. And I left the hospital like 5 p.m. I was so pissed. I was so pissed. In a way, people feel like I go to the hospital, all right, I still go early and I close. I mean, I don't even know how to address this. You see, the doctors you see at the OP are the same people on the ward with the patients who are admitted. So most of us, it's not like we come late. Oh. You have to even come extra early than the appointed time, which is 8 a.m. You have to come early. Come and see the patients on the ward. Eh? Go and review them. Make sure they have their drugs. Make sure you've reviewed their labs. Make sure they are doing well and they are stable before you can come to the clinic. Oh. Because those are the clinic, right? It's assumed, okay, if you are coming to the clinic, outpatient department, OPD, it means that you are stable. It means you have eaten. It means you are well nourished. Okay. It means that your vitals are stable. You are okay. Okay. That is the rationale behind it. So it's not like you can late. Maybe some people can late. I can only say for certain hospitals I've been in. Anyway, disclaimer in this video is that my point might be kind of skewed because I've only worked at 37 Military Hospital, Korle-bu Teaching Hospital, and Police Hospital. So all my ideas or should I say all my points or tips I might be giving you might be a bit skewed towards the hospitals I have worked in. Okay. Sorry I want to change the way I position my microphone because the sound is a bit, I don't know. I'm trying this way about going early, aside the fact that there might be a bit of unforeseen circumstances in the hospital that might make the doctor saying you delay, like an example. As I said, I've been a patient at the hospital before. I went very early because I was coming all the way from Afenia to Accra. I go to the hospital like 7 a.m. and then the doctor came as usual around 8:30 thereabout. Okay, and bear in mind that I knew this doctor very well because I had worked in the hospital before. So low key in my head, I was expecting certain protocols. I went through all the processes. I sat in the queue and I waited and saw the doctor around too. Why did that happen? This doctor was the only dermatologist in the hospital. And then I think they had this patient on the ward that was really unwell. The patient was critically ill. And from time to time, she had to get up and go to the ward to go and check up on that patient. Like, as in maybe they were calling her, and she kept going and coming back. And then, even though she was offering me a certain amount of protocol, there were people that were more protocol than I was in the queue. Do you understand? I saw her around 2. I left the hospital around 5, as I mentioned, but I saw her around 2. And even that 2 o'clock that I saw her, it was like 10 minutes or even less with her in the hospital, like in the consulting room. So, like, it's very, very irritating and very frustrating. And I really understand it. But the main protocol is that the earlier you go to the hospital, the earlier you get to leave the hospital. Most specialist clinic run from 8 to 2, and then they stop taking cards or new folders at a certain time, mostly by 11 to 12 p.m. Okay, because the clinic will close at 2. It doesn't make sense that as at 2 they are still taking folders for new patients, right? Yeah. So if you are going to a specialist clinic, it means you have to get there before 11 or 12. Makes sense. There are certain OPDs, obviously, that run from 8 to like 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Then that one, you can go to work even close and then now come to the hospital, right? So that's besides the point. But the main idea is that go early and you leave early, obviously, if there are no unforeseen circumstance. And obviously, if you are critically ill or you are not feeling well, don't go and sit at the OPD. That is why there is an emergency in the hospital. So in certain hospitals, they triage them when they come. When they come, they triage. If it's green, you go to the OPD. If it's orange, red, yellow, you go to the emergency. So they triage them. But I don't know what kind of hospital you go to. So like just bear in mind. Okay. And remember the patient's aspect I said carry along. The main reason why I'm adding that is because of the unforeseen circumstance I'm talking about. If you go to the hospital and the doctor has to get up and go here, get up and go here, it becomes very annoying. And if you don't exercise patience, you are going to be, getting annoyed and getting angry. If you go to a hospital like let's say military hospital or police hospital, they are obviously going to see their personnel before you. They are going to see the policemen, they're going to see the military officers before you, no matter how early you came. So bear that in mind. Aside the fact that, of course, if your case is an emergency, right? If you are really not well, the doctor obviously has a duty to see you before he sees the policeman. If the policeman is stable, do you understand? The hospital has due diligence to their personnel before any other patient. So just bear that in mind when you're going to any hospital or when you are choosing to go to any hospital. So don't get angry when the doctor is calling a policeman before you. You understand? Because you went to a police hospital. Don't get angry if the doctor is calling a military man before you. You went to a military hospital. Do you understand? Yes. The second point is in a way I should have even merged it with the first point. The second point is that eat before going. I noticed that most of the problem stems from the fact that the patient sitting there is very hungry. And I feel like hunger equates to anger in certain circumstances. Anger equates, sorry, hunger equates to anger. Okay. If you are hungry, you can't exercise patience. Okay, you can't exercise patience. You'll be getting angry that the doctor is seeing this. The doctor is seeing this person. The doctor is if me the patient skip me. I came here at 3 a.m. and then you are reversing me. I'm not eating. I traveled from here. Yeah, no, eat. Please eat. Don't come and collapse and add to the stress. Just eat. Make sure you are fine. Carry some snacks along with you. Okay. Because sometimes you're going to spend the whole day in the hospital. Sometimes. If you decide not to eat and you go and sit there thinking that, oh, you finish quickly and go and do this. It doesn't work like that in Ghana, you know. The doctor to patient ratio, you and I know, it's not enough. One doctor is seeing like 30 patients, 40 patients, 50 patients a day. It makes no sense. So just make sure you are very comfortable, you are well fed, you have your phone or your this thing to go scroll through social media and do things you enjoy while you wait. Guys, I think the sound is better. So the third point is that send all the medications you are currently taking or medications that you went to buy over the counter whatsoever, either prescribed by any doctor at all. It gives us an idea of what you are being managed for because most of the patients who come to the OPD do not know what diseases they are already being managed for. Well, that's another topic for another day. Communication between doctors and patients. If you don't have any idea of the sickness you are being managed for and you have your medications, it gives me an idea. If you're having amlodipine, I know that this patient was being managed for hypertension, right? If you're having metformin, I'm like, okay, this patient is being managed for diabetes. I know you get my point. And I'll need to know the dose, how you take it, because it will help me know that you're not taking your medications well. That's why your sugars are still high. Or you're overdosing. That's why your sugars are too low. Do you scare me because this is very, very vital. I see a lot of patients who do not know. Okay, sometimes you'll be like, Ma, are you being seen for hypertension or do you have hypertension? No. What medications are you taking? Amlodipine. I'm like, how are you taking amlodipine and you're not hypertensive? Okay, another thing is that patients do not want to admit that they have certain diseases. So that's why they might not accept that they have hypertension. And other times, patients do not know that hypertension is the same as BP area, moja broso area, or BP or sugar. If I say, oh, sugar, they'll say yes. Oh, diabetes, they'll say no. You understand? So as I said, that communication is for another video. But send all your medications so that I have an idea of what you are being treated for, and I can adjust your doses if it's required, and it will help me, manage you properly, if it makes sense. The fourth point, I'm talking about the third point. The fourth point is that send all your labs or investigations that have already been ordered in the past. Some of them might not be relevant to your current management. That is fine. You don't lose anything from sending the lab to the hospital. But if any of them is in line to some of the investigations I will be ordering for, then it's good you've already done it, right? Yes. Sometimes we need to compare your old lab with your new lab. Example, if you come and you do a particular lab now today when you saw me, and I realize that your kidney function is a bit deranged, okay, and then you show me a lab maybe a month ago and it was fine, I can have an idea that, oh, this is an acute problem that is going on. Then I can look for acute things that can cause your kidney function to get deranged. But if you come and it's just a first lab and I realize that, oh, your kidney factors have been here, I'll think that it can be acute and it can be chronic. But if you had a lab from 3 months ago or for 4 months ago, I can say that, oh, okay, this is a chronic thing that is going on. But if you come with no previous labs because you thought it was not significant, or you thought that the current illness does not have to do with that lab, like it's a longer way to figure out if this is acute or chronic. I don't know if you get my point. I hope I'm being very understanding and very down to, like, I'm explaining it to the nitty gritties of the situation. So I hope that example was good. Just in case the lab you bring is a lab I was planning to request for, and then what you have done is quite recent, then good for you. You don't have to repeat the lab. Sometimes, even though you bring a lab from, maybe you even do the lab and it was done yesterday, I don't know what lab to mention, like a lab that sorry to say, I do not trust. Okay, because your management sometimes is based on some of these investigations we do. So imagine you do a lab somewhere and it says that you have some condition, and then I start treating you. Meanwhile, that thing is not there. Let me see. Let's say it says you have HIV and I have to treat you, and then HIV is truly not there. Like, imagine you went through taking those medications that have certain side effects. An example, a patient came to the clinic with a PSA, prostate specific antigen. It gives us an idea of like prostate cancer, blah blah blah. Prostate specific antigen level of, let's say, 4. You've done everything else that shows that this PSA level should be higher than that. As a doctor, I might request for a repeat PSA. Okay, because probably the PSA you did is from some lab that is not really, out there or known well or trusted. So don't get offended when your doctor has to repeat some of the labs that you bring. Okay, in the end, you do not lose a lot from that, because it helps me give you the right diagnosis, and then it helps us with the management, right? My last and final point is that do not be afraid to ask any questions. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying this is that it comes back to the point of communication. Sometimes doctors are so overwhelmed with seeing so many patients that they are not able to communicate well with you, which is
so wrong. I mean, no matter the patient you are seeing and no matter the time ascribed to that patient, you have to make sure that the patient understands their condition and understands the management you are giving. Because if the patient does not understand, then whatever you've done is back to zero. Should I say it's cost 90? Because if the patient doesn't understand the condition or understand why this is being done and why it's necessary to take these medications, then he or she might not follow through. Like I see a lot of patients, they come and then maybe you start them on antihypertensives, but maybe you did not carefully explain to them that I think you are hypertensive, or maybe I'm thinking that you might be hypertensive. So do 1 and 2, come back, let's maybe confirm with this and that and that. Okay, because I can't just diagnose you with hypertension when I see you for the first time. Maybe I'll need a BP profile, blah blah blah. So I schedule other appointments with you. Maybe start this medication and come back. The patient will start the medication when he feels that the BP is better or it's normal range. You stop the medication because he thinks that the medication has achieved what it's supposed to do. He doesn't know that it's the medication that is constantly keeping the BP within normal range. Do you understand? So in the end, you did nothing, because this patient will stop the medication and the BPs will go back skyrocket. Do you understand? So you, the patient, if you realize that the doctor is not like maybe explaining, or you are not understanding, maybe the doctor is explaining but he's not explaining in your terms, you are not understanding exactly what is going on, you need to ask questions to clarify. Doctor, are you saying, can you kindly explain to me? Doctor, menti aseo or something. I don't know. I feel like sometimes when patients come to the hospital, they are so scared. I don't know whether they feel, I don't know. But you can comment down below why sometimes when patients come to the hospital, they are in a way very timid, not willing to ask any questions. Everything is just yes, okay. Even when they do not understand, they don't ask. How am I supposed to know you do not really understand me? Especially when I have so many things to do, a lot of patients to see. Okay, if you realize that maybe I'm at fault, I've already admitted that we are at fault for not doing a proper communication. If I miss having a proper communication with you about your condition, just be willing to ask me questions. Do not be afraid to know about your condition. Okay. Another thing is that I've met patients who do not even care about whatever it is. They'll be like, okay, tell my husband, your disease is your disease, so it's not your husband's disease, it's not your father's disease or your mother's disease. It is you, and you have to take control of your health. So be willing to ask the doctor why we are doing this investigation, why I need to take this medication. Is this medication going to solve the problem, or you're just giving it to me for the interim while we do certain investigations? You know, ask them, be willing to ask them. It might be something you just overlooked or forgot. Okay, we are also human beings, I'm so sorry about that, but be willing to ask us when you realize that you do not understand what we are talking about. Okay, so that will be all for this video. I hope you understood every single thing I mentioned. If you don't, ask me, mention it. Go to the comment section, ask me if you want to know. Just ask me in the comment section. Okay, ask me and I'll gladly and happily reply, because I don't even get any comments. Okay, so I'm willing to reply any question you ask. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I have other videos similar to this, and I have other vlogs, okay, that you can binge watch, get some popcorn and some drinks and watch. Okay, and stay tuned. Okay, so I think we've come to the end of this video. Stay tuned, guys, stay tuned. I have more videos like this coming up. So when you go to the consult room, you stand up like 1 minute there or 2 minutes there. Oh babe, you're playing.